How to achieve wealth for your entire life. They are videos. It begins with an uncomfortable truth, almost offensive to some. Most people don't want real wealth. They want temporary relief. They want to earn money, not cash flow, wealth. They want to solve the month's problems, not build a life. And maybe that hurts to hear, but that's exactly where almost everyone goes wrong. Because lasting wealth doesn't come from luck, inheritance, or a stroke of genius. It comes from daily choices that almost no one is willing to sustain. And here comes the paradox. The more people chase after money, the more it seems to elude them. But the moment they stop chasing and start building value, everything changes. You've seen this firsthand. People who made a lot and lost everything, and ordinary people who quietly built something new. Financial freedom, common mindset, simple, yet rare. It wasn't quick, it wasn't easy, but it was inevitable. Because wealth isn't an event, it's identity in action. Perhaps you're tired of hearing empty promises, magic formulas, and shortcuts that never work. Fair enough. The proposal here is different. No tricks, no hype. Just the principles that are repeated in the lives of those who build wealth that doesn't disappear with the next crisis. Principles that demand daily sacrifices. And that's exactly why they work, while 99% give up halfway through. The question isn't whether you want to be rich. Almost everyone says yes. The real question is, are you willing to live differently from the majority, even when no one applauds, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the results take time? Because if you are, the next few minutes could completely reorganize how you see money, work, risk, and purpose. And that opens a path that few have the courage to tread. Achievement instead of recognition. You've seen this movie 1,000 times. The person works hard, but works for the audience. They post, talk, show off, chase applause, and at the end of the month, the balance remains the same, and the anxiety only increases. Because recognition is like fireworks, beautiful, noisy, and disappears quickly. Fulfillment, on the other hand, is the real deal. It's silent, cumulative, and becomes an inner asset. And when the mind learns to seek it, wealth and financial freedom, along the way value creation, she stops depending on likes and starts depending on competence. Napoleon Hill. I would say, look, if you need tweezers to move, you'll freeze when the room gets quiet. Those who choose achievement focus on delivering results, even when no one is watching. It's the difference between appearing productive and being productive, and the world pays a high price for those who, and not by whom, it seems, a simple practice. Before any task, ask yourself, does this increase my mindset? Is it a long-term goal, or does it just feed my ego for 5 minutes? And when the answer hurts, that's where the gold lies. In real life, you can see it in the details. You stop wasting energy trying to impress and start building a portfolio of evidence. Deliverables, projects, skills, solutions. If it's at work, you document results, numbers, before, after. Improve processes, and become a reference. If it's in business, you focus on the customer, adjust the offer, improve delivery, and create something people recommend without needing theatrics. And if you want to reinforce this, success habits. With practical reading, you can go from Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. B. The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy. Because the game is composed, and applause doesn't pay the bills. But there's a next level. Because it's not enough to deliver. You have to deliver with excellence. And that's where the real separation begins. Excellence instead of acceptable. He learned early on that good enough is mediocrity's favorite hiding place. Acceptability solves the present, but it quietly kills the future. Excellence, on the other hand, demands a higher price. Today, more focus, more time, more energy, and pays interest later on. Those who seek wealth and financial freedom, he understands that each delivery is a silent vote in his own identity. It's not about perfectionism, it's about standards, and standards create reputation. Napoleon Hill always said, "When excellence is optional, average becomes expensive." In practice, you choose to revise one more time, test an extra detail, deliver something no one asked for, and that's exactly what someone always notices. It could be a client who becomes a partner, a boss who entrusts you with bigger projects, or your own brain registering, "I do the hard work when no one is watching." This strengthens the mindset right and creates success habits that repeat themselves. To apply today, choose a common task and treat it like a showcase. If it's a report, include a clear visual insight. If it's a blog post, improve the hook and clarity. If it's customer service, go beyond the script. Read more Deep Work, Cal. Newport to train focus and atomic habits. James Clear to raise the standard 1% per day. Excellence is not an event, it's a system. And when the standard rises, an inevitable dilemma arises. Maintain the comfort of immediate pleasure, or invest in growth that truly changes the game. Personal growth instead of immediate gratification. He realized that the brain loves shortcuts and quick rewards. Netflix now, results never. Pleasure feels good. Growth feels right later. Those who build wealth and financial freedom. Learn to negotiate with your own mind, postponing today's dopamine to reap the rewards tomorrow. It's not about becoming a fun-free robot. It's about choosing when to have fun. And that choice, repeated, becomes one of the success habits, the most powerful that exist. Napoleon Hill. He used to say in his books, "If it feels easy all the time, you're probably paying with your future." In practice, while many end the day on autopilot, you set aside a short block to learn something you've been accumulating: finance, communication, technology. It could be 30 minutes of reading The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel, a chapter of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, or a basic investment course. Small in the day, massive over time. The mindset. Things change when pleasure becomes a reward, not an escape. Simple and realistic application. Identify the pleasure that steals most of your time and make a 90-day agreement. Less endless scrolling, more study. Less impulsive spending, more investment. Trade an hour of watching a series for a side project, a marketable skill, or a clear financial plan. Nobody sees it at first, but later everyone asks how you did it. And when growth starts to show results, the next difficult decision arises. Choose immediate financial comfort, or bet on the potential that multiplies later on. Future potential instead of immediate financial gain. You already understand that a salary pays the bills, but rarely builds anything wealth truly. The immediate gain is comfortable, predictable, almost cozy, and that's precisely why it can become a trap. Anyone who thinks about financial freedom look beyond the present and ask, does this raise my ceiling or just keep my floor? Today's money is tempting, but tomorrow's potential is what changes the game over the years. And this vision doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from a mindset trained for the long term. Napoleon Hill used to wear a simple phrase: short money feels safe, long vision builds empires. In practice, you accept earning less to learn more. You trade stability for participation, salary for equity. This could mean starting a business, joining a project with profit sharing, or investing time in something that scales. Read more The Millionaire, Fast Lane, M.J. DeMarco, and the Almanac of Naval Aviation. This helps to clarify the logic. Active income sustains, assets build freedom. It's uncomfortable at first, but that's the point. Practical application. Before making a major financial decision, ask yourself two quick questions. Does this increase my income now or my earning potential in the future? Does this buy comfort, or does it buy learning, networking, and leverage? If the answer is only comfort, think twice. Because? Success habits. It's not about choosing what brings pleasure or quick money, but what creates options. And when options start to emerge, a new silent challenge appears: maintaining focus, or getting lost in 1,000 opportunities at once. Focus instead of scattered interests. Have you ever noticed that talent without focus is like scattered light? It illuminates everything a little, but doesn't warm anything. The mind may feel productive doing 1,000 things, but results remain shallow. Those who seek wealth and financial freedom understand that focus is not a limitation, it's leverage. Choosing one main thing hurts the ego because it forces you to say no to good ideas. And that's exactly why it works. Success habits. They are born when energy ceases to be divided. Napoleon Hill. He always emphasizes in his books, if everything matters, nothing really does. In practice, you see intelligent people starting too many projects and finishing none. Meanwhile, those who choose one path and go all in create depth, authority, and results. One business, one skill, one market, total focus for a defined period. Mindset. Things change when you replace the question, "What else can I do?" with "What should I eliminate now?" Less noise, more traction. Simple and powerful application. Make a list of everything you're trying to tackle at the same time. Then, circle only one thing, the one with the most potential for return, learning, and scalability. The others don't die, they just go on strategic pause. To reinforce this, it's worth reading. Essentialism, Greg McKeown. The One Thing, Gary Keller. Books that teach you how to cut without guilt. Because focus creates speed. And when speed increases, the most uncomfortable decision arises. Transcendence instead of security. He understands, perhaps more than he would like, that absolute security is an empty promise. It seems like protection, but it slowly shrinks the soul. The safe zone pays little, charges dearly, and still sells the illusion of control. Whoever pursues wealth and financial freedom, you realize that growing up requires experiencing a certain amount of anxiety. It's not irresponsibility, it's calculated courage. To transcend is to choose a path where risk exists, but so does meaning. Napoleon Hill used to say, "Safety keeps you alive. Transcendence makes you feel alive." In practice, this becomes apparent when someone decides to start a business, change careers, invest in their own project, or truly expose themselves to the market. Mindset. Here, the question changes from, "What if it goes wrong?" to, "What if it goes right and I never try?" The greatest leaps don't happen when everything is guaranteed, but when faith goes hand in hand with action. Realistic application. You don't tell people to jump into the dark, but to turn on a flashlight. Build a reserve, study the market, test in parallel, validate before abandoning everything. Read The Lean Startup, Eric Rice, helps you fail small, fast, and cheap. Start with Why, Simon Sinek, helps to remind us why it's worth the risk. Success habits here. Decisions are made through conscious steps, not blind impulses. And when someone starts to act despite fear, something curious happens. Daily choices take on a different weight. Because now everything that has been learned begins to connect. What are you going to do with all this that you've just learned? Because knowledge without action is just intelligent entertainment. Wealth, financial freedom, mindset, success habits. All of this sounds nice, but it only becomes reality when it leaves your head and becomes part of your routine. So be honest with yourself. Which of these sacrifices bothered you the most? Usually, that's exactly where the next level of your life lies. If you keep making the same choices as always, does it make sense to expect a different result? What if, just for the next 90 days, you decided to act like the version of yourself that already thinks long-term? Less excuse, more intention. Less reaction, more direction. Small daily decisions, seemingly simple, but aligned with who you want to become financially. Now think about this. What habit do you need to cut out? What choice do you need to make? What calculated risk are you postponing out of fear? Write it in the comments. Writing is a public commitment to yourself. And remember, nobody builds lasting wealth in a day, but many people destroy their future through small choices made every day without realizing it. If this video helped you see the game in a different way, do two simple things now. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, because here the conversation isn't superficial. It's about real-life building, money, and purpose. And share this content with someone you know has potential, but is still stuck in small choices. Sometimes all it takes for a life to change is the decision to start today.